Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Hello everyone, what is going on? Welcome to Friday night live mini readings with Gobind. I am excited to be back here on the channel live to do readings, and if you want to get on the list, all you have to do is send $25 to my PayPal, and the link is in the description of the video. I literally just got done working out, didn't even put on any makeup. Just totally chilling tonight, like Friday night, right? I was like, I'm not going to put any makeup on. I'm just going to go live. But it feels like it's been a little bit of heavy energy. There are, today the moon has officially entered into the Gibbous phase. And what that means is we're getting closer to the full moon. Now, there's still a little bit of time left. The full moon is not until the 1st. So if we look at the calendar, we've got about a week. But we're going to start to feel that intensity start to build up. The other thing too that you're going to start to feel, and you guys tell me as well if you're feeling this too, you tell me in the chat. The other thing that has already officially started is that Mercury has entered what we call shadow. And with Mercury in shadow, that means that it's getting ready to go retrograde. And when it officially goes retrograde, it's going to be in the sign of Scorpio. And so right now, he's at the last degrees of Libra, and he's going to officially move into Scorpio. I believe on Saturday, but let me make sure. On Sunday. On Sunday, Mercury is going to officially enter the sign of Scorpio, and he's not going to get that far into the sign of Scorpio because around the 14th or so, 10th, I can't remember exactly the dates, but around that second week of October, he's going to go retrograde. And when we have a Mercury, speaking of Mercury, by the way, he's kind of like center stage right now. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hosting the Module 4 of Aquarian Astrology. I don't know if you guys have heard that or if you missed that announcement, but tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to go live and do the Zoom webinar for the Module 4, which will talk about Mercury. But when he goes retrograde, because he rules communication and traveling, like quick trips, things like that, he's going to affect that area of our lives. And I'm sure you've already started to kind of feel that right now in your life, that there's a heaviness. To me, I feel like a very deep aspect to communication. Like there's things that really want to be said. There's deep thoughts, and I think we're getting ready for that Mercury in Scorpio transit. But when it goes retrograde, when it officially goes retrograde in a couple of weeks, it's gonna feel like things get a little bit crazy and out of control, because that Scorpio energy can just get way too emotional. So you guys tell me, are you feeling these energies in your life? Are you experiencing the heaviness? We also are going to see the second Mars square Saturn. And Saturn is going to be direct when this happens, which means that Mars is going to get the bigger hit, and Saturn is going to have more of the strength. So Saturn is going to have like the upper hand in that sort of challenging aspect, which is a square, and it will cause like a lot of tension. Surprisingly enough, so I think that's going to happen on Tuesday, if I have it correct. Yeah, on the 29th, which is actually the day that we're going to see the first presidential debate. So I don't know, just a lot of crazy things going down right now. And one thing that I am really grateful for, really thankful for, is like to have a roof over my head, and, food, and all those things. I think that's going to be the key to getting through these kind of crazy energies. So very, very intense times, and they will be getting more intense. I also covered the astrology for the entire fall season. I did a webinar, and the webinar was the fall 2020 astrology. And I talk about like this, October is one of the heaviest months. And because we're getting so close to, I can't even believe it's already this close to October. We've got less than a week and we're going to be in October. So the October pick a card reading is going to be coming out soon as well. But October is actually like a really, really heavy, intense astrological month that probably won't, it's not really going to feel good because of the essence of the season, which is the fall, and because of the fact that when the fall comes, the days start getting shorter, the nights start getting longer, and we start to go into this kind of internal journey. I think we're going to need a lot of guidance. I am actually excited because at the end of October, in my own little, world and space, and being here and doing my best to share as much positive energy as possible during this time to you guys, which is what I hope I do here on this channel. At the end of October, I am going to be doing a very powerful launch. And my friend Tara Wild and I have created a beautiful journal / guidebook. It's a Celtic. It's a guidebook to the Celtic and the lunar cycles of the entire year. And when that book comes out, you'll have an opportunity to purchase it. And there's only going to be a limited amount of printed copies available. And after that, it'll become an interactive ebook experience. And so what that book is going to do is guide us like ceremonially through the whole year, which it's a very, very exciting thing. And we've been working on this all summer, but at the end of October, I hope, hi Hannah, how's it going? I hope to bring some of that that like light, right? That's part of the light work that I am doing, part of the light work that my friend Tara Wild is doing, and sharing our gifts with the world. And in these heavy times, we bring an offering of connection, an offering of guidance, and I'm really excited about that. So also, actually, a really awesome announcement. I'm going to have a special guest join us on Monday nights. Does anybody know K Moon? If you guys don't know K Moon, she will be on the channel with me on Monday nights, and we're going to be having a special conversation, and she has a special gift to share. She wants to gift our group, our tribe, with two spots in her latest course that she's releasing. And so we're going to be sharing details about how to get into that sort of giveaway that she's doing on Monday. So make sure that you guys watch live on Monday night. That's going to be a fun conversation. Me and K Moon did a podcast on an episode of my podcast. Yes. And collaborating has really been something that I've been wanting to do more of lately. But yeah, we will be having a conversation. Hey, Jessica, on Monday night with K Moon, and similar, talking about the energies that are going on. And she's also an astrologer, so we can bring. I feel like when we come together and share our insights, it can be a very, very informational, astrological, and conversation, and you can get really a lot out of it. So that's happening on Monday, you guys. So K Moon is going to be here with us on Monday night. That's at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the list is open, you guys. We don't have anyone on the. I mean, I haven't checked yet. I should probably go check, but I don't think we have anybody on the list yet. If you do want to get a reading tonight, it's a $25 mini reading, and all you have to do is send the $25 to my PayPal, and you can choose from getting an astrology reading. I can look at your birth chart. I can also look at the transits, like the transits that are happening right now and how they're affecting your birth chart. Like, what are the areas of life that are being affected right now? We can also look at progressions. If you've never looked at your progressed chart or your secondary progressions, that is something we can do here in the mini readings, and you can get insight into what phase of life you are in yourself. So, hang on, my computer's doing something funny. So yeah, those are all the things that are happening. And tomorrow we're module 4 is going to be happening. And of course, every time that I do a module for the Aquarian Astrology Level 1 course, we have the replay available the next day. So just because you haven't been a part of the live module recordings or the classes doesn't mean that you missed the class, because all of those modules are available on my course web page, which is courses.channelforgrace.guru, and you can access it through the regular website, which there's a link in the description. But you can go and access those, and we have module 1, which is all about the fundamentals of astrology. Module 2 was all about the sun. So it's like the setup. Module 3 was the moon, and now module 4 is the planet Mercury. And we're setting up, it's like setting up astrology. And the reason I chose to do it this way is to give you that like basic standard information that you can like put layers over and get a deeper understanding and a deeper understanding. And that's how it flows. Like, you have to have a basic understanding of astrology, and then you have to understand the significance of the sun, which is when we think of astrology, we look at the sun sign as the most important thing, and it represents our soul. And then we realize that there's so much more to astrology than just the sun sign. But that is the light. the light that shines, forward. And that's it. And that's the cycles of the earth, the equinoxes and the solstices are connected to the sun and the relationship between the earth and the sun. And so it's very important to understand those cycles. These are the same cycles, the equinoxes and the solstices and the seasonal shifts. It's the same cycles that my friend Tara Wild, her work focuses on these festivals. These Celtic, traditional, Celtic festivals have to do with these seasonal changes. And then you take it a little further and you go, okay, well, what about the moon? So the sun and the moon are the luminaries, we call them in astrology. The moon reflects the light of the sun. And it is our emotional world. It's our internal world. It's also how we, express ourselves out there. So that's basic foundational stuff. But when we start to talk about the planets beyond that in astrology, which Mercury is first, and he represents the mind. Like, how do you think? What are your thinking processes? What are the things, how do you make decisions too? She has, Wendy. Yeah, Tara has. I did an episode with her called Conversations with Spirit. And it's in the history of the channel. But yeah, she was on the channel and it was really, really sweet. She's super sweet. She's a Pisces. She's like so sweet. And she does ceremonies as well on her channel, and she does vlogging, video vlogging, and she has a membership sort of offering for people wanting to connect with their ancestors. So she's just like really awesome stuff. It's a really good combination between what she does and what I do and bringing it together. But so I don't know what I was just describing. Yeah, she's super sweet. What was I talking about? Oh, Mercury, how the planet Mercury is all about the mind and how you process things. And that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow is why is Mercury? See, we talk about all the other planets. Like, we think Venus is really important. And I just saw you guys that some of you guys have signed up. So thank you so much. I'm going to go check that paper real quick as soon as I finish yapping. But basically, when we think of like, we look at astrology and we're like, oh, I want to look at the planet Venus because I want to focus on relationships. Or, hey, Deidre. Or we look at like Pluto and we're like, okay, Pluto's all about power. So like, where's Pluto in my chart? Or even Mars, like Saturn too, and Jupiter, because Jupiter expands everything. But then we kind of overlook this planet Mercury in our chart. I mean, have you guys noticed that we focus, like, as astrologers and like, people in the community, we go, okay, my sun, moon, rising, and Venus. What happened to Mercury? And I love the astrologer, David Palmer. He is, his personality, his online personality, his TV personality is the Leo King, and he also has his own YouTube channel. He talks about Mercury as a very important, one of the if not the most important planets when you look at relationships, because Mercury is how you communicate, and whatever sign that planet is in is how the flavor of communication, how you understand things, how you make decisions, how you process your thoughts. And if those two, if Mercury in your charts are in like weird alignments, or, there's going to be communication issues. And hello, the most important thing about relationships is communication. So if you don't understand where your Mercury is at in your chart, and what it means for your partner, or especially with synastry compatibility readings, what Mercury, what sign Mercury's in your partner's chart, like, You're going to have a hard time. It's going to be challenging because you need to understand what is their mode of communication and how they process thoughts and how they make decisions. I mean, it's a big deal, right? So anyways, I'm excited about tomorrow and doing this module 4 of Aquarian Astrology Level 1 course. So now I'm going to go check PayPal because I saw that some of you guys signed up. Thank you so much. I'm also going to get my little list out. And we're going to do some readings. Okay. I have the Astro dice today too that I want to use. Whoa, let's not break the glass table. I just scared the crap out of my dog. God. Okay, here we go. So today, and remember when you do get a reading too, you guys, you get added to the September giveaway. So let's see, today is September. I can't even believe this, 25th. What is going on? Like, seriously, what is going on? Okay, so we're going to do a reading for Jessica. Oh, well, that's very nice of you. So Jessica is going to get a reading, and then we can give another. She paid for an extra reading, and she says we can gift it to whoever may want it. And then we also have, so I'm going to put mystery person. If somebody really wants a reading, let us know in the chat that can't afford it. And then we've got Deidre right after that. Okay. So let's come back to the YouTube chat. And why don't you go ahead and put up your information, Jessica, and then I'm going to go grab my iPad because it was charging. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? So as I'm pulling up Jessica's information, I'll talk a little bit about progressed charts because maybe you've never even heard of a progressed chart. I mean, I know I didn't for the longest time. I didn't even know what it was. I knew they existed and I kind of knew generally what it meant, but I didn't really understand. But a progressed chart is basically looking at the evolution of your soul, the evolution of your natal chart, and what phase of life you're in. And the way you get this information is by looking at the sun and the moon in the progress chart. So let's pull this up. Nine 42. Okay. When you look at your progress chart, the cool thing is that you can see that your sun has progressed to a different sign. And quite often Mercury and Venus have as well. And sometimes Mars has as well too. But Mars is less often it goes through that transition. You okay with this year going fast? I actually, yeah. Hi, Alain. Is that how you say it? Alain. Alain. We've got Jessica, and then let's do Stacy. Let's give that special donated reading to Stacy, and we'll do an oracle reading for you. And then we've got Deidre. So there's plenty of room for you, Ali, and I would love to do a reading for you. So let's share. I'm going to share the screen here. You know, it's so nice to like not ever like when I first, hi Guru, when I first went, you know, live, I was like, I had just done working out. I was just done working out, which I think is awesome. I've been like trying really hard to stay with that. I've got this, you know, workout machine. You may have seen me on it on Instagram. But I've been working really hard on staying, keeping a routine going. And I was like, you know what? It's Friday. I don't feel like wearing makeup. No, we're not going to do it. So I'm just feeling like really, I'm like in my workout clothes, like my whatever. I'm loving it. Okay, so here is your natal chart in the inner circle and then your progressed chart in the outer circle, Jessica. So I'm going to do this reading for Jessica and then we shall continue. So let's look at the basic stuff. You were born with Sun at 17 degrees of Virgo, and your Sun has now progressed to 27 degrees of Libra. And so the essence of that Libra energy is more how you project yourself now than you did when you were born, or for the amount of time that your Sun was in the sign of Virgo. So your soul has evolved to this Libra energy. So you've gone from, right, Virgo focuses on like organization, you know, the details. It's a sign of service too. It's, you know, it's also focusing on being here in the moment. But now you've kind of, your soul has progressed to really desire more harmony in your life and to really desire more balance in your life. And so that's where your Sun is at. Your progressed Sun, the progressed moon is in Scorpio right now. And we can see here that your progressed moon is very close to your progressed Sun. And progressions, the moon in the progressed chart travels a lot slower than it does in a regular chart, in a day-to-day chart. In the day-to-day chart, it takes about 2.5 days to change signs. But in a progressed chart, it takes about 2.5 years. So what I want to do, because what this tells me is that there was a new moon in your chart, a new moon phase, not too long ago. So what I want to do is find out when that is. So I have to go back to the program and backtrack a few months and see when were those two together. So you can see here that at 27 degrees of Libra, you had a new moon phase, and that was in March of 2020. And it was in your first house. So I'm going to go back to your regular chart because I just wanted that information to know the energy that's going on. So in March of this year, and so the two, I would say, really, really important progressions that you can have are the new moon and the full moon. Because the new moon starts an entire new 28-ish year cycle. The full moon is the culmination of the energy that was begun by the new moon phase. And then the balsamic moon is where you release and you let go. And you get ready for another cycle. But we're talking 28 years. Like, people wait sometimes a long time, many, many years to get to their next new moon phase in a progressed chart, you are actually like in the middle of this phase right now. Now the moon is already moving forward closer towards the crescent phase. So it's like the building energy. But what I can see is that right now you have recently in March gone through the exact conjunction of the sun and the moon in Libra at 27 degrees. And that's the later degrees of Libra. So I think this is activating a new 28-year cycle of more harmony in your life, more balance in your life. It's focused on yourself because it was transiting your first house, or these two planets are transiting your first house of the self. So this is focused on you. It's a beginning that has to do with you. And I think that's powerful. And I would say that is like, that's really all you need, is to know that there's something really exciting beginning. And it's like that time where you have already released something from the last 28 years. And okay, good. So you've released, like, the last 28-year cycle is over. And you get to start like a whole new life if you want to. And it has to do with yourself because it's in your first house. So I would say that is the most important thing to know. I don't really feel like I need to go into more information here. Other than your Venus is now in Scorpio instead of Virgo. And your Mercury as well is now in Scorpio instead of Virgo. So there's very different energies in the way that you think, in how you approach love, in how you see yourself, in how you express your emotions. There's a lot of Scorpio energy right now in your chart. So look at all this. This is all progressed, this planet, Uranus, and these two. Well, the ascendant is Scorpio. So you are actually, this one is important. So I'm just going to separate these. So ascendant, Scorpio, Venus. These are the ones that are the important ones. Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Ascendant. That's a lot of Scorpio energy. Yeah, that's heavy Scorpio energy in your chart. And then you've got that Libra sun with the new moon having happened at 27 degrees of Libra. So just know that right now it's almost like there's a determination energy in your life, and you're really wanting to, and you want to investigate things, you want to understand how things work, you want to focus on being in a place where you're really truly authentic to who you are. And you may even be feeling like there's certain things that you get kind of defensive about, but there's also a deep desire to understand things at that way deeper level that only really Scorpio can. So awesome. And I'm glad that all makes sense to you. So that was for those of you guys that were watching, for the entertainment purposes, that was a progressed chart reading that we did for Jessica, which is really cool. I'm really excited for you, Jessica. Thank you, Rebecca. Did you get my messages, Rebecca? I sent on Messenger. I don't know. I've been so busy, like the entire day, literally the entire day. I worked on, like, I've been working on my website and working on the book, The Circle of Stars, which I was talking about in the beginning. You're welcome. And I just been nonstop on the computer, like making sure this links to that. And, we've got a privacy policy page and all this. Oh my God, all the technicalities. I've been working on that today. I'm slightly confused, says Guru. What are you confused about? Well, thank you. I didn't see what you were posting, but thank you. You said you look great. Thanks. Yeah, the progress charts can tell you a lot about what you're going through right now in life, how you've evolved as a soul. So we are going to do a reading now for Stacy. We're going to gift it to Stacy. Yeah, it's about the cleanse. Which is the other thing that I didn't even mention, but I had a conversation with Jason the other day. Um, and I haven't talked to Jason in a long time, personally, right? Um, and we were talking about how we want to do something. We want every once in a while, Jason and I will work together on something. We'll do some kind of project, and it's awesome, and we love it. And like we just have these phases where we're like really communicating and working together, and then we have these really long breaks of like, okay, I do my thing, you do your thing. And we're now in the phase of, okay, let's come together and do something, because we really enjoy working together. And the people that follow my channel tend to follow his, and then the people that follow his channel also come and watch my channel. That like we have this like vice versa kind of thing going on. But we're going to be running a cleanse together, and so that's going to be happening in about a month or so. But I'll be coming out with more information about that. But that's what I was messaging you about, Rebecca. What's your question, Stacy? What did you want to ask? We're going to do a tarot reading for Stacy next. Then we've got Deidre, and then if you want to get on the list, there's plenty of room. Feel free to get on the list. Hello, Concrete Angel. Thank you. Love you too, Guru. So there's so much going on, you guys. Oh my God. So if you've never gotten a natal chart reading from, well, I guess let me just tell you what I do. When I look at a natal chart, I look at like basic personality information, sun, moon, Venus, rising. And then I also look at the nodes to see what sort of like your life path or your life purpose is, what you came here to learn and what you have already kind of lived in past lives. And then I look at Chiron, because Chiron tells you the healing journey that you're on, and the theme of healing for you in this lifetime. And that can really help you to understand why certain things have happened in your life and all that. So that's what I focus on when I do a natal chart reading. So if you're interested, we can do that. If you know what time you were born, that's the best. If you don't know, we can still do the reading. I just won't know the rising sign. So right now we're waiting for Stacy's question, or I might just start pulling some cards and see what they say. Here we go. What guidance does Spirit have for me in things happening for my situation next week? Okay. Okay, this one is a yes. I'm going to use the Goddess cards and the Avalon cards. Oh, yeah, Rebecca. I was thinking of offering some kind of reading like that. It takes time. Like the reason I don't offer that in the mini readings is because I have to get the book. I don't have the stars memorized. So, and there's a lot of degrees involved. So you have to really do some previous research. But I was thinking of offering a reading that you can actually pay for, and I can send you like the report of like, if you have fixed stars in your chart. I think that's more doable. Then I can take a little more time to do that. But yeah, I mean, I know there's some really cool like fixed stars. I think what I'm gonna do, I think I'll do probably later on in the future, but I think I'll do an episode one of these times on the different like fixed stars, just so you understand kind of like where they're at and degree wise and sign wise in Western astrology, and what the story is that maybe you are kind of living out. Yeah, I thought of doing that. Hey, Tammy, and calling it your star story, and just like you send me your information, and then I go in and I see what stars are fixed in your chart, and then we go from there. The only thing is that if you don't have any fixed stars in your chart, which I doubt, I think everybody has at least one. You know what I mean? It's like, well, somebody paid for a reading and they don't have any fixed stars. So I have to kind of maneuver it so it makes sense. Even if you don't have fixed stars, like I could look at the Chandra symbols and I could look at the Sabian symbols, the Chandra symbols, and also the critical degrees as well. Oh, I love that, Rebecca. That's awesome. Yeah. The cool thing about my course, my astrology course, if you're wanting to learn astrology, is that you can do it at your own pace. And each module is only $33 each. I just dropped some cards, so I'm going to grab them. Okay, so let me show you what we got. Stacy. I know, right? Hi, Karina. How's it going? First card you get is, Vajra Yogini, the essence of all Buddhas. I have the power to make each moment sacred. Everything is material for my liberation. And then you have the letting go card coming out with it. Okay, so what's happening right now, what you're going through, because being this the first two cards, is you are going through a period of letting go of, like the word said here, liberation. I feel the sense of freedom is coming about right now, and I feel an excitement too. It's like you're excited because you're feeling this like more freedom energy coming into your life. And realizing how sacred, everything is. I feel a lot of gratitude. I feel like sense of gratitude coming up in your life. So those are kind of the energies that are happening right now, that are going on right now. Queen Esther, the morning star, comes up with the card of fear. The morning star, every time I see this card, for some reason, I always think of Venus energy, the planet Venus. Venus right now is actually the morning star, and she is the morning star for about 9 months, and then she becomes the evening star after that. She like switches. You have hopes and dreams, but you have this fear about them. You're not sure whether, the hopes and the dreams that you have are actually going to come true. And so you just have this kind of fear that's kind of up in the air, and you're really wanting some answers. Now, the next two cards, Sarah Lakali, Queen of the Outsiders, and the card of Risk coming out together. You may actually, you yourself, feel like you are an outsider. And what needs to happen is, right now, for you to feel, better about yourself, better about what's coming up, is to realize that the only way that you are going to let go of the fear, right, that comes up with the morning star, with the, the fear of the unknown, is you have to take a risk. So right now the universe is saying that you really have to take a risk. And the sort of end possibility of this energy is that you're stepping into love. And Pope Joan, the pontiff of possibilities, is here. And she says the possibilities are limitless because the soul is limitless. And then we have this essence of love coming out with this character, with this goddess. So it's all going in a beautiful direction. Like, it's going to be really beautiful. It's going to be powerful. You're going to emerge from whatever's coming up, feeling that intense gratitude that you really are. It's like you're getting a glimpse of it with these two cards. You're kind of feeling like you're getting this glimpse of excitement and freedom and liberation. And it is going to lead to love. But in the process, You have to let go of, or not let go of your fears, because the fears are normal and natural, but you have to move forward despite the fears and take a risk. That's that. That's basically the answer. I'm gonna pull the astro dice for you to see what you get. And you've got the planet, where is it? Mars, in the sign of Aquarius and in the fourth house of the home. So Mars in Aquarius in the fourth house. First of all, Mars is our drive. And so this is a message of, you need to think about the future. You need to focus on what's coming next. You need to be innovative. You need to let yourself have unique ideas, and you need to let that be in the realm of the home, because the realm of the home is really what's being affected for you right now with these energies. So if you focus on being open-minded and having that unique sense of self, and that and let new ideas come in, like let yourself be innovative. And when you take these risks, make sure that it's something that you've never done before, and that's where the fear comes in. But you have to let yourself go beyond the boundaries that maybe you've set for your own mind, for your own self. So that's what we got for you, Stacy. Next is Deidre. And let's see what I missed in the chat while we get Deidre's question. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. That's really sweet. She says, everything you do is so magical. I really love you. So does the moon. I watched Venus rise a few weeks ago. She was so big. Isn't she? Powerful planet. The Mayans only focused on Venus as their main planet for their Mayan calendar. It's in the description. The link is in the description of the video, but I think Wendy already also posted it as well. Awesome, Hannah. For sure, Stacy, for sure. There's a lot of that. And to be brave in the midst of scary circumstances. Yes. Yes. Yeah. It's unknown. Like, Aquarius can be a little unpredictable too, because you can be kind of, you have to let yourself be unpredictable, but you can be unpredictable. But I think other people, like, unpredictable situations may arise as well, because that Aquarius is that Uranus energy that brings that unpredictability into our lives. Hello, Lisa. How's it going? I did think that Deidre said in the PayPal comments that she wanted a transit reading. So I'm just gonna pull this up and kind of get it ready. There's plenty of room on the list too if you guys want to get a reading tonight. I was going to say transit, but I want the progressed reading instead. Okay. 6477. Have we done the progressed reading yet for you? 235. Awesome. So 6477235. Okay. In my progressed chart, my moon is in Sagittarius right now, which is so not what I'm used to, you know. My natal moon is in Leo, and I love that about my moon. Sagittarius is a whole nother ball game. So for me, the progress chart readings can give you a lot of insight as to like, what are you desiring right now in your life? What are you really desiring? You know, right now I'm desiring freedom. I want to go travel, see the world, explore. Those are the kind of things, you know, I feel like there's, you know, certain principles that I believe in and that are important to me and all that stuff. So you got to think about that when you think about your progress chart and the sign that your moon is in. It's like, what inspires you in the moment? Okay. So here's your chart, Deidre, and then I'm just going to start blabbing about it. Just kidding. Hannah, if you have Cash App, I also accept Cash App. Okay. Sometimes Cash App is easier to set up, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I did that setup thing a long, long time ago. Okay, so you were born with the sun in Gemini and your moon in Capricorn. Now, your sun has progressed to 25 degrees of Cancer, and your moon is actually in Leo. So what does this mean? You also recently went through like a new phase in your life. Let's actually go find out when that actually happened. I am going to go backwards and see when the moon was conjunct the sun. And there it was. So November of 2018 is when you had your new moon phase. Whatever was going on in your life, in November of 2018, you started a new cycle. So right now, your moon is in the crescent phase, and it's in the sign of Leo, which is about wanting to be seen, wanting to be, you know, needing to be valued, wanting to be, you know, in the limelight, like being on stage, not feeling shy in a sense, being more outgoing, a little more outgoing, while your sun in the sign of Cancer is what it wants is to nurture. It wants to nurture itself, but it really wants to nurture others. And I actually, my progressed sun is also in Cancer. And it's a really weird phase for Gemini sun to go through. And I can, you know, speak from experience because I'm a Gemini, like all the way. You know what I mean? Like I love the Gemini energy. It's like I feel like proud of my Gemini-ness. And I have a lot of that. And it doesn't mean that you stop being a sun in Gemini. What it means is that you keep being a sun in Gemini, but you evolve to focusing on not just what, you know, the realm of like Gemini, which sometimes can be like the Leo energy a little bit focused on the self and what's important to me. And a little bit more like Gemini is not a nurturing sign like Cancer is. If you just compare those two things, they're very different energies. So right now, you're in a phase where it matters to you how other people feel around you. Like it matters to you what you're offering to the world. You know, it matters to you if someone is not feeling right. Whereas, you know, before when, you know, your progressed sun was still in Gemini, it was more about focusing on communication and yourself and expressing yourself more, like wanting to be heard more. You know, in that kind of sense, Gemini can be self-centered because it just wants to keep talking and it wants to feel like it wants to know. Like, so there's a knowledge seeking aspect to that Gemini energy that needs to know all of the facts. And so the focus is more on like me, myself, my knowledge, what I know, what I can communicate, what I can prove, that kind of thing. Whereas the sun in Cancer, it changes focus completely. So sometimes that feels weird. That shift feels weird from Gemini into Cancer. But at the same time, you are going through this crescent phase. Since 2018, where you went through that initial, the beginning of a new 28.5 year cycle, the focus for you changed into building something new. So maybe you're more focused now on building more of a home or focusing more on career, because that moon, that new moon did happen in your 10th house. It was aspecting your 10th house of career. So the focus for the next, right, 28.5 years, it's like it began in this space of like, what am I doing with my life? You know, what do I want to be known for? What do I want to give back to the world? You know, how do I want to show up in my life? And that's the theme that has begun this 28.5 year cycle. And so with the moon in Leo, and the moon is in Leo and is in a sign for 2.5 years in a progressed chart, that means that you have right now, like you have this desire to be nurturing somehow through your career, through what you choose to do, but you also want to be, recognized for it. And you need to feel valued. Like you need to feel like what you're doing really matters and that you are an important piece of what's happening right now in your life. And I think that's quite a bit of information. You also have, your Mercury was in Taurus. You were born with Mercury in Taurus, but now your progressed Mercury is in Leo. So that's more Leo energy. Your ascendant is also, you're like a Leo rising. Or no, not a Leo rising. You are, hang on, sorry. That's incorrect. You are a Scorpio rising in your progressed chart. So that's a whole nother energy. But your midheaven in your progressed chart is actually in Leo. So I think you want to be on camera. Like I think you want to be seen. Like you're not afraid of that right now. That feels good to you. It feels comfortable to you. You're like dipping your toes into that area. And then your Venus, where's your Venus? Your progressed Venus. So you were born with Venus in Aries. And now your progressed Venus is in Gemini. And your Mars has switched 2 signs. That's a big deal. Some people, their Mars doesn't switch signs at all. Yours has already gone through 2 different progressions. It went from Aries to Taurus, and now it, recently entered Gemini. So in terms of like action, what drives action for you? You want more knowledge, so you're gonna go seek more knowledge. You're gonna want to communicate more. The way that you get things done is by communicating. All of those things are happening. And then in relationship, you need major like mental stimulation to keep you like alive. Like, your lifeline is like the mental stimulation, the knowledge that you're seeking right now. So there you go. Wow, there was a lot more to talk about. So, yeah, thanks. So that was the progressed chart reading for Deidre. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Appreciate that. Sharing all my stuff out. I've been upgrading my website, and that's been really fun to do. Stacy says, sending lots of positive energy, love, and light and blessings to y'all for your kindness to help me have this read. Yeah, you're welcome. So I don't know if someone else signed up or not. I'm going to go check the PayPal real quick and the Cash App. Yes, it totally will, Deidre. It totally will. But I don't think anybody else is actually officially on the list. I think that was that. So Hannah, are you still trying to get a reading? I know she was working on it. Okay. All right. Well, we'll wait for you, Hannah. In the meantime, we can keep talking. God, the energy is like so heavy. I've been like, part of me wants to like, there's a desire in me, and I don't know, maybe you guys tell me if you're feeling this too, but there's like a desire in me to focus on, of course, what I do is like I give, readings on the energies and astrology and all that stuff. So like what is happening is what's happening, and it's really heavy and we're all dealing with it. Earlier today, I had these last few days I've been having conversations with my husband about the energies and how, because they feel so heavy, like I've been experiencing like a lot of anxiety in my life. Like anxiety comes out of nowhere, and it sticks. But what I really want is to like focus on something else. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, like what can we do next? So all the projects that I'm working on are helping me to like kind of stay and hover over like all that gnarly energy. All right, Hannah, I saw that. So let me put your name on the list. So in the meantime, why don't you tell us what reading you want done and your information? Mars retrograde has been and will continue to be and get gnarlier for sure. Oh, interesting, Rebecca. Well, Mercury entered shadow, so Mercury will be retrograde in the next couple of weeks. That'll be fun. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Tomorrow in the class, the module 4 of Aquarian Astrology, level 1 course, we are going to talk about Mercury, and we're actually going to talk about Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and what that actually means exactly, which is something else. If you do get a reading tonight, you do get entered for the September giveaway. I know we all have. Like I've felt that way too, Wendy. I'm like, I just want to give this much. Like this is how much I can give, and then the rest of the time is for me. I think as energy readers and channelers and things like that, or people that do feel the energy of other people, that are like kind of sensitive or empathic in that way, I think we've been going through a really hard time, especially if you're living in an area where people are going through a hard time. I mean, we just had these crazy fires here in Oregon. So I was thinking earlier today, I was like, I was sitting in my car. I went to get some food, and I'm feeling the rain coming down and watching it and stuff like that. And I was like, the fire for me is gone out of my mind, out of sight, out of mind. But I was like, but what about all those people that lost their houses? I mean, we got to the last week of the summer, and it's like everything went up in flames, and then it started raining. And for everybody else, it's like, all right, here we go. It's like wintertime energy. It's not the winter, it's the fall. But you know what I mean? It starts to feel more like the inner, the closing in. Okay, everybody's going into their cocoon. I'm out, And but what about those people? They don't get a break. They don't get they and so if you're an empath, like there's serious stress going on right now, and you're like feeling all of that. So it's like whoa. So much more self-care is needed right now for people that are empathic, for sure. And I can see people are getting on the list. So I'll update the PayPal in a moment. For now, let's see what Hannah wants for a reading. Awesome, Lisa. Yeah, I've had anxiety like off the charts lately. And it feels like it comes out of nowhere, you know? Do you know if you want a natal chart reading or transit or progressed? I'm going to start pulling up your info. But I'm glad the allergies are gone. See, like the other day I had like major crazy allergies. That was not fun. I literally sneezed all day long. It's the worst ever. Okay, 2288. And the time is 11:10. In Aurora. Are you guys in Colorado? I love Colorado. Colorado's my favorite. I lived in Boulder for 12 years. Just recently moved out like a year ago, less than a year ago. And I don't like miss it exactly because I knew it was time to go, but like I'm not really liking, you know, the Northwest kind of. It people say it takes about 2 years to get used to this weather here in the Northwest, but I have so much more fun like in the high desert, you know what I'm saying? With the sun and the rattlesnakes. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't really miss the snow. That's one thing. Well, that's awesome, Hannah. That's so cool. Okay, natal chart. So right now we're doing a reading for Hannah. And then somebody else was on the list. And then there was somebody else, but I can't check yet because I'm going to do this reading. So give me 1 second. If you paid, we're going to do Hannah first. Let me take a picture of this. And share it. Sorry, it's like the buttons on my iPad are like, no, no. They're like fighting with me. Come on, computer. Every time I have to connect it, it gives me a new code. So we have to wait to get the code. Okay. So let's... So here we go. My thing's kind of having a hard time. Hard time? Oh, hang on. Am I freezing, you guys? If I'm freezing, usually you can still hear me even though you can't hear me. It just went back to looking good. So here we go. So this is your natal chart, Hannah. So I'm going to go through your natal chart and I'm going to tell you the things that are the most important. Yay! Okay. Have you ever had a natal chart reading before? So you were born with Sun in Aquarius, Moon in Leo. Girl! Sorry, I get a little carried away sometimes. Okay. You were born during basically the day of a full moon. You were born on a full moon in Leo, baby. Yes. Oh my God, I love that. So when the sun and the moon are opposed, that is a full moon. So you were born on the full moon in Leo, which means you're epic and awesome. And you have a Taurus rising, which is a really cool energy. It's very grounded. Your personality, you're like stable. Like, you can be a little stubborn, but I feel like you've got air, fire, earth. That's pretty nicely balanced energies. Your Venus is in Pisces, and it is also conjunct your North Node in Pisces, which is like such a beautiful and loving energy. I mean, wow, this is a really cool chart. So having the North Node in Pisces and also conjunct Venus, this is you're on a spiritual journey. You're on a spiritual journey for sure. You are, your job, the reason that you came here, what you need to look for is you have to find like the deep, soulful answers to the universe. There's a yearning to know yourself at a very deep spiritual level. And so what you have to let go of is trying to have everything right. Trying for everything to be perfect. Like things don't need to be perfect. You don't have to have all the details figured out. Things don't have to logically make sense all the time. You have to let your imagination go wild and play and have fun and like love the process that you're in because it's a process and not because it has like a final destination. Let's see. I think that's amazing. Those are amazing energies. Chiron. Let's look at Chiron. Chiron in your chart is in Gemini. So your healing journey. Also, let me just go back to the the node thing. You were moving towards sharing your gifts with the world. Like you were born to share something beautiful with the world. And you were moving away from focusing on yourself. So less focus on yourself, more focusing on like what are you here to share and give with the world. That's part of your destiny. With Chiron and Gemini, first of all, like if you haven't tried any kind of like psychic channeling things, like playing with tarot cards, playing with oracle cards or any kind of things like that, like divination tools are very natural. They come naturally to somebody with Chiron and Gemini. I have Chiron and Gemini and I have it on top of it in the 12th house, but just that in general is like, I don't know if you played around with it, but it could be something that you may be a natural at. Also, you have to heal. It's basically like with Chiron and Gemini, your healing journey is to learn to be here in the present moment, to learn to appreciate the things that are right in front of you, to learn to express yourself in a more humble way. All of those things are part of Chiron in Gemini. So that's part of the healing journey that you're on. And you've got some other like stuff that's pretty cool. You've got Pluto, its home sign of Scorpio. That's a big deal. It's also in your 6th house. So Pluto in the 6th house can mean like sometimes health issues. Doesn't have to, but it can. But it's like the power. It's like you have a lot of power when you're at work. People kind of like look up to you for some reason, like they're drawn to your energy. That's going on there in your chart. You also have Mercury in Aquarius too. So in your mind, you have very unique ideas, but you're very introspective because Mercury was retrograde when you were born. But you have those unique ideas and you like focusing on the future. You also have Uranus at 29 degrees and the 29th degree of any sign, and Saturn is right there close to it too. The 29th degree is like a critical degree of any sign. It just brings a lot of intense energy into your personality. With Uranus, it's in Sagittarius. It's like the very like freedom loving. Freedom is very important. You need that freedom in your life. Oh, interesting. Okay. Asthma. Interesting. And so then because you're Taurus rising, that means that you're ruled by the planet Venus, and Venus is in your 11th house, conjunct the North Node. So spirituality, psychic gifts, divination, those things are really important. I would focus on those things as part of how you share your gifts with the world. So I think that's good. And hopefully that gave you the insight that you were looking for. That's a really, really cool chart. It's a really cool chart. So let me check the PayPal real quick because I know we had a couple people get on the list. And thank you everybody for being here and hanging out. So Lisa is next. Lisa. And then after that is Barb. And I'm going to come back to the YouTube chat. So go ahead and put up your question, Lisa. Yeah, you're welcome, Hannah. You've been crying out of nowhere, Lisa. I've been like feeling like, oh, like somebody keeps punching me in my gut. Oh, it's like nervousness. I'm like nervous. I'm like, why am I nervous? Like anxiety and nervousness. It's like, that's not mine. It's not mine. Everything's great in my life, except the clouds. I'm just kidding. I'm going to be over there in Arizona like, I miss them clouds. It's so hot. I can't breathe. Oh my God. So we're waiting for Lisa's question. I just need to stand up for a second and stretch. Well, the clouds come and I get all gloomy and weird. I'm like, what the heck? Well, it's like instant. Like, and then the sun comes out and I'm like, oh yeah, what was I doing? I was like doing this and I was working on that and and okay, let's go work out. Time to take Gaia out. Okay, lunchtime, dinner time, like boom, 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 boom. Like we're just on it. Then the clouds come and I'm just like, what was I doing? And then this like weird energy comes out. It's crazy how sensitive I am to it. I'm like, I'm amazed. I'm like, wow, like that kind of sucks. Cause being that sensitive, I mean, come on now, you know? Can't even live life? Like, geez, that's kind of wicked. Like, what do you know what I mean? Like, if you can't do it, you can't do it. If you can't live in a place like this, you can't do it. I wasn't born here. I never lived in a place like this ever in my life. I lived in mild weather in Argentina because, yeah, it's like hot summers but very mild, you know. And then I lived in California, Southern California. What's your information, Lisa, so I can pull it up? And then in Southern California, grew up there pretty much from when I was like 7, 8 till I was like 23. And then moved to Colorado. And so I had to learn to deal with the seasons, but especially the winter. Because in Colorado, it's almost like you get summer and then you get winter. Like, and then in between you get like very short periods of time where like I think we're switching seasons, and then boom, the next season is here. Um and that's during the fall. Like right now it's like getting cooler, but like sometimes it's really hot, sometimes it's cool, but the sun's always out in Colorado. Like people don't know that. Um but I learned to live in Colorado and it was nice. I loved it. And then I got tired of the winters. So I was like, well, let's try the Northwest and see if, like, not having any snow for like a whole winter would be nice. And it was nice. I'm like, dude, it's nice. You guys don't know, man. You know what it's like to wake up in the morning and like you have to go to work and like you're running late and your car's like frozen solid and you're like can't open the door. You're like and then you're like you have to grab your little ice scraper. You gotta like close the door and you're like bundled up and you're freezing ass and your hands are freezing and you're like scraping and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna you have to turn the car on so it warms up, but it takes like an hour to warm up because it's so cold. And then you're like scraping the ice out of your window, and then it still like doesn't warm up, and then you gotta go, and so then you have to be, I don't know, it's just crazy. That's when it's extreme weather. That's extreme Colorado weather, but most of the time it's actually pretty nice. So I was kind of tired of that. So that was I got a really nice break from that. And then, the next phase might take us to freaking, I think it will take us to freaking Arizona, where it's going to be hot AF. Eventually, I quit all my jobs and I started working from home and doing what I do in Colorado. So I never had to go out during the snow, which is like I was so blessed. So I would get to stay home and like chill. I get to stay home and relax. I did get that, Lisa. I'm gonna start putting it in. And I didn't have to go out when it was. But then Don would travel all the time, so I would have to go get him to the airport, and I lived in Boulder, so like, I mean, yeah. So it's like 45 minutes without traffic, without weather to get to the airport from Boulder in Colorado. So no joke, man. Sometimes I would pick him up and I would like white knuckles because it was like snowing, and we did have a good car. For a while there, I had like Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, like 4-wheel drive, and so I felt safe. I was in a safe car, but that's that. So I got tired of that, like I was tired of the cold. The cold is too cold, man. It's too cold. It's not that cold here. It's like it's a different cold. So it's just gloomy. The gloominess is what gets to me. It's not really, the fact that it's raining. I don't mind the rain. It's kind of nice. But then when the sun never comes out after the rain, it's like, what the? You're not used to that. In Colorado, you're like, you see the crazy storms coming, and you're like, ah, and there's lightning and thunder, and then you get the rain, and then they pass, and the sun comes back out, and you're like, that was nice. Over here, the sun never comes back out. It's like the clouds come and the rain is here for like 3 months, and then the sun comes out 3 months later. After a while, you're like, what's happening? Oh, I am cracking myself up right now. I'm like totally doing this crazy Gemini thing. But I did pull up your chart, Lisa. Don't worry. I can do a million things at once. It's because of my crazy Gemini. But I do need to know what kind of reading you did want me to do. Let me go back and see what you wrote. Stephanie's in Houston. Houston was the best move. Okay. From Oregon. I haven't, there's no way I could stay here long enough to find out. You have to really focus on staying. I couldn't live in the East Coast. I've never been drawn to living in the East Coast. So you want me to look at your progress chart? I'm sorry it's taking me forever in the day to like pull this chart up. Don't lag, Lisa. Don't lag. Make sure that the little button on the bottom of the video, if you click on the video, there's a little red dot, and you can move it all the way to the right, and you'll be on time. Wendy is psychic, so she would definitely know if I got the info or not. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just trying to get through all these comments that I missed because I was yapping. Here we go. Okay, so let's pull your progressed chart. Okay. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. That was fun, though. Having, somebody from Colorado do a reading just like sent me back on this crazy recapitulation. I'm really excited about the future, you guys. I can't wait. Okay, I'm attempting to do this, and here we go. So here's Lisa's chart in the center circle, and then your progressed chart in the outer circle. Now I'm really gonna stop looking at the screen. Eugene is hopping. What, Eugene? Come visit. Gee, God set the thermostat on hell. Oh my God. All right, so let's look at your progress chart reading for Lisa, if we ever get to it. You were born with Sun in Scorpio, and your progressed Sun now is in Capricorn. You were also born with, where's your moon? Your moon was in Taurus when you were born. I think you were born. So you were born when the moon was in like what we call the the gibbous phase. Because when the moon reached 22 degrees that day. Let's see, you were born in the morning. Yeah. So the moon was about to be full. So you were born right before a full moon. Oh, that would be fun, Wendy. A college town. Oh, dude, I missed the college. Boulder was a college town. And even though I had nothing to do with the college students, it was like there's an energy to that, Vinegar. So you were born close to a full moon phase. So right now, your progressed Sun is in Capricorn and your progressed moon is in Aries. So here's where you're at right now. This is what we call a square. With 4 sides. No, I'm just kidding. But right now, the moon, your progressed Sun and your progressed moon are at a place where they're squaring each other. This is a phase. Oh. But it wasn't balsamic, it was actually gibbous. So that means that there's something right now in your life. There's a challenge that's like about to come up, some kind of obstacle or some kind of challenge. Like you're gonna be asked to make a decision, but like something will come up that you have to resolve. That's the phase of the sun square the moon. And this is in your progressed chart. And so in the next few, maybe couple of years, there's something that will come up that will cause a little bit of friction, but it's because it wants you to tweak. It wants you to like you started the phase with a new moon in Capricorn, which is focused on, and this would have been hang on. This would have been, I'm going to just double check so this would have been about 7 years ago. 7 years ago was over here. Right? 7 years ago. You had the new moon phase. So you started a new cycle 7 years ago. Right now you're kind of at the halfway point between that and, right, the full moon cycle, which is going to happen over here when the moon moves into Pisces, and it's going to be a very powerful full moon phase for you in your life, and that's another 7 years, because the Pisces full moon, or wait, no, it's not going to be Pisces. Sorry, it's going to be a Cancer. I don't know why, because I keep seeing the green and it made me think of Virgo, but it's going to be a Cancer full moon, which is going to be like a powerful phase of you, like of nurturing yourself, nurturing your family, focusing on family, all that good stuff. But where you're at right now is like, okay, you're in this spot, and for the next year, 2 years or so, you're going to be dealing with something that comes up and has to be resolved. Now that I don't know what that is. It'll have to do something has to do with family. Because if you look at where this is your first house, sun, progressed sun in your first house of the self, your identity, and the progressed moon in your fourth house of the home. So you and home are under like there's a challenge there. There's something coming up that just doesn't quite feel right. So in order to make it feel right, again, you have to resolve it. You have to figure it out. And that's the phase that you're in. Ain't that the truth, though, Lisa, right? Your whole life? Trust me, I get that. So then you gotta go, well, what's the one thing right now that's a challenge that I need to resolve, right? What's the one thing right now? Like, that's what the universe is asking you. And if we look at your Venus, you were Venus in Libra, so that was like a Venus ruled energy that would have felt really good. Venus is now in Sagittarius, and so it needs more freedom and independence. So, if you're in a relationship and you're feeling like I need more freedom, like I feel claustrophobic, that you got to pay attention to that, because Venus needs freedom right now. You need freedom in relationships. I just took my father in and he is driving me crazy. Well, maybe that's the thing, And then your Mars, you were born with Mars. What is Mars? Mars in Capricorn, and now your Mars is in a completely different sign. It's in Aquarius. So this is about your drive is you want to create something new. You want to like be, there's a revolutionary part of you. There's more humanitarian part of you. Like you're much more open-minded now. In terms of like, there's, there could be a new idea. We can get creative here. We can focus on the future. We can, bring in, let's focus on everybody instead of just like ourselves. Let's focus on everybody. So, those are things that are happening that right now, in terms of like how you want to take action. You want to do something new. You want to do something innovative right now. That's what's driving you forward. And then in terms of Mercury, you very much in a very practical place, very practical way of thinking. You know, everything has to have a logical explanation, and that can be hard on people that when they're dealing with you, that can be kind of hard. Because that Mercury in Capricorn doesn't leave very much room for anything. It's like, this is how it is, and that's it. So that can be a little challenging. You got to think about that. Um, but it's very practical, and everything has to make logical sense to you right now. If it doesn't make logical sense, it's like out the window. Like, we don't even deal with that. But that's where you're at right now, energetically. That's where you've progressed to. It's not a bad thing. It's just that, you know, like, you're moving forward. Soul evolutionary wise, you're moving forward into different energies and resolving new things and learning. Like, the whole point of life, right? And the whole point of, like, why we even look at astrology and why we even look at our natal charts is because we know there's an evolutionary process going on, and we're interested in what that is, so that maybe we can like move along with the energies, flow with the energies. Like, if this is what I'm learning, okay, what can I do to, like, get to the next phase? Right? Well, then that's a good thing, right? If this is the first time that you know, maybe like, that's why it's an evolutionary process. Like, you went from being, you know, this way to be, now you're like this, and you're learning different phases. You were born at this, you know, the birth chart is like this specific phase, and then from there you're going to move forward. You're going to progress on your journey. You know, you're going to release karma and heal things and learn, and that's what really this is all about. Exactly. Everybody. We're all evolving spiritually. So, all right. So now it's Barbara's turn. We're going to do, you're welcome, Lisa. We're going to do reading for Barbara. So let me know what your question is. And if you want to do, if you are interested in the astrology readings, then definitely put up your information as well. And thank you for your patience. You've been waiting quite a while. It took me like a whole hour to get Lisa's chart up. I do want to come visit Colorado, but I'm really excited about Arizona, you guys. Okay. Barb was freaking ready like 2 hours ago. So I'm going to pull up your chart, and then we're going to look at your progress chart. And the location. Did you guys like the latest episode of the Channel for Grace Uncut podcast? Who got a chance to listen to it? I'm curious as I pull this chart up. 7, 90, 48, 10, 43 a.m. Okay. If you guys did listen to that episode, if you could leave a review or give it a rating in Apple Podcasts, that would be really, really awesome. Because I want to grow the Apple Podcasts platform. But it only really grows if people leave a review, like an actual written review of some, if you enjoyed it, whatever, you just want to share something or about me, anything would be awesome. And then also you rate the podcast, you give it stars. So if you guys could do that, if you do listen to my podcast on Apple Podcasts, that really helps a lot to get the podcast out there so that Apple Podcasts promotes it to other people. But if it doesn't have any ratings, it really doesn't do that. It doesn't really move forward because it needs those ratings to be sort of to kind of enter through the web of podcasts. Okay, so we are looking at your natal chart in the inner wheel and your your progressed chart or your secondary progressions in the outer wheel. Yeah, Barb was freaking on it. So you were born with, you had your sun in Leo, you had your moon in Virgo, you had Mars in Libra, you were born with Venus in Cancer, and your rising sign was also Libra. Yeah, Google, Apple Podcasts is for iPhones. Yeah, for sure. Thanks. That would be awesome, Jessica. I would appreciate that. You can, yeah, I think you have to download. Well, Google Podcasts is usually on the phone already, on an iPhone already, and you just kind of like, you either like log in. I don't know if you log in or you just start finding podcasts. I don't know exactly how you do it, but you just find it and then you can do the review there. So right now, let's just take all of these out and let's just look at your sun. Your progressed sun has moved into Libra. So you've gone from sun in Leo, who's very centered on the self, who, requires a lot of validation, who needs to feel valued, needs to feel important, wants to be the center of attention. That's one of the most important things. Are you like, are you like, have you ever done anything that is literally put you on a stage? Like, in terms of career, like, are you famous in some way, shape, or form in terms of career? Like, have you done acting? Have you done filming? Have you done anything that puts you literally on a stage? I'm curious about that, but you've you've gone through the phase of the sun in Virgo, which is, well, then the focus becomes, okay, let's get a little bit more practical about things. Let's focus on the details. Let's get organized about our daily lives, our daily schedules. We want things to look good. We want things to feel good. And so it's important for things to be in order. You've gone through that phase, and now you are in the phase of the Libra sun, which is, okay, now that we understand what it's like to have that organization in our lives, let's actually let ourselves enjoy life a little bit better or a little bit more. Let's let ourselves feel like, let's see the beauty in everything. Let's let ourselves enjoy art. Let's get a little bit more let's relax a little bit more, and let's find some more like fairness. Let's focus on feeling good, doing things that feel good. Yeah, so wherever you were, like, you kind of had this like fame, not like you're like a major famous person, but like there was a fame to your personality. Like you have been kind of famous in some way, shape, or form. That's Sun in Leo in the 10th house conjunct Pluto. That's like, you were someone who people really looked up to, and you were like famous. That's what that says. So I'm just curious about how that kind of played out in your life. But now you're at the phase where you're like, okay, I just want to kind of enjoy my life and enjoy the things that I see as beautiful. That's the phase that you're in right now in terms of the sun. When we look at the moon, yes, I am, Hannah. When we look at your moon, you were born with moon in Virgo, but now your progressed moon is in Taurus. So it's also an earth energy. I just want to check something real quick because it looks like, let me go back to the main chart. And I'm going to just, let me see something. Okay, so that's what I wanted to know. You have just so January 14, let's go back over here. 14 years ago, when the 28-year cycle started, that was your new moon phase. Now you have gone through, and you have recently, in January of this year, January of 2020, you had your full moon phase where the moon was in Aries, your progressed moon was in Aries, and your progressed sun was in Libra. And that was the culmination of what started 14 years ago. And so right now you're relaxing after that happens, because after you have the full moon phase, it's like, okay, well, the most exciting, powerful thing just happened for you, like the main event, the culmination, the completion of what you started like 14 years ago. And now that phase has just recently happened, you're on the other side of that, and so now you're more in a more relaxed place. Like now you can, if you achieved what you set out to do 14 years ago, you probably feel good. You're like, okay, I'm good now. But if you didn't, then you may feel like something failed, and you may be having a hard time. Hopefully you're not having a hard time, but that can happen. It can be two different things, but like the culmination energy just recently happened, and now you're like moving towards the more relaxed phase. So that's where you're at right now. It's a big deal, because now you don't have to push. You don't have to try to make something happen. You don't have to do anything. You're supposed to like relax for a moment, right? Because for the last 14 years, you've been like working really hard to like make this thing come to life. So that's where you're at right now. And I think that's really powerful. In terms of the other planets, you've got progressed Venus in Virgo. Well, you want to, in terms of relationships, you're kind of picky. You're kind of in a picky spot. Venus in Virgo is picky partner. Mercury in Libra, that's like you want justice and fairness. Everybody should have a say. Like everybody should get along. Those are the, in your own thought processes, those are the things that drive your thoughts. That's how you process things. Like, is everybody feeling good? Is everybody feel like this is fair? We can hear from everybody. Like everybody should have a say. And what did we say about your Mars? Oh, you have Mars in Sag, and you have your ascendant in Sagittarius too. So you are driven by more a desire to have more knowledge. You're driven by wanting to expand. You're driven by curiosity. Maybe you want to go explore the world, and maybe you want to go take a trip beyond. I wouldn't recommend international travel right now at all, but just trips, like local trips, to go visit and learn new things and gain more knowledge about the world is what you're driven by right now. So use this time to explore and have fun, because you don't have to make anything happen. You do get to enjoy yourself. So go and do the things that are fun for you. That's what I would recommend. Okay. So that was a reading for Barbara, and I'm going to go check the PayPal real quick. And then we're going to do the reading for Pablo. Okay, so I'm going to pull up, and this is for natal? Yeah, okay. So let's pull up Pablo's chart. This is too fun, huh? This is like too much fun. I love doing this stuff. So 102584. Ciudad de Mexico. Are you guys new to my channel, Hannah and Pablo? Okay, 102584, 10 a.m. in Mexico City. Whoa. You are intense, Pablo. I'm just going to pull this chart up, and then all you guys that are in my class can tell me how intense he is. Okay. Let us switch. So this is his chart. Okay, cool. All right. I love being here with you, Jai and Soul Tribe. It's such a positive, bright light to my days. Oh. Well, I'm glad that I can be here. Yeah, I don't always I don't always register names, you know what I mean? Like I just was wondering. So here's the chart. Yeah, right, Jessica. So the obvious thing is like everything is over here. Like very few things are like on this side of the chart. So that's a lot of like concentrated energy. And not just concentrated, but he's got this massive Scorpio stellium. The hell, Gina? Wendy? Okay, and that's it's a okay. So let's Sun Pluto exactly conjunct at 2 degrees in Scorpio, with Pluto in its ruling sign of Scorpio. Like he's got like undeniable essence that is a strong personality, very powerful energy, powerful personality. Like people will be drawn to this energy just naturally. Or some people would like want to run away from it, but some people will be really drawn to it. He holds a lot of power. That's the first obvious thing. That's an exact conjunction with the planet Pluto, and Pluto is about power. So then he was also born with Mercury in Scorpio. So that means that in terms of, he's like a detective. He wants to know how things work. He wants to understand at a very deep level what's going on. Sometimes, I mean, the Scorpio energy can get jealous and it can get vengeful if it's not like checked. So that is like a fact. That's like Scorpio facts. But it's like an investigative mind that wants to know deep down the truth of everything, like wants to uncover like what's under the rock, you know, what's underneath this like surface stuff. There's way more than you're showing me, kind of thing. Okay. So the other planet that is also in Scorpio is Saturn. I mean, that's kind of intense. And the fact that Saturn is conjunct the moon, and holy crap, the fact that the moon, he was born on a new moon in Scorpio day, because just a couple hours before the moon was over here. Holy, hold on. This is just tripping me out. Holy crap. Okay, I gotta look something up. Hold on. Because I need to verify something, okay? Let's see. Google. New. Let's go. Solar eclipses in 1984. So, Hannah, you were born on a full moon, okay? There was a solar eclipse. Hang on, we're looking October. Hang on, I'm trying to find out if this was a solar eclipse in Scorpio. So give me a second. There was a solar eclipse in May of 1984. There was a solar eclipse in November. Huh. How would there have been a solar eclipse? Maybe the eclipse actually happened. No. Okay, so let me type something else. Was there a solar eclipse on October 25th of 1984? Oh, you're welcome. I'm just curious as hell. Wait. No, wait. It doesn't say there was. Probably because... Hang on. Okay. If they say there was an eclipse in November 22nd, so let me do this real quick. Oh. Can you guys see this? Okay, hopefully you can see this. Moon is at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Wait, no, let's go forward. 13, 14, 15. Come on. 22nd. Okay, I see. Okay. So there was a new moon solar eclipse in November 1984. Okay, a total solar eclipse occurred on November 22nd of 1984. A solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, thereby totally or partially obstructing the image of the sun for a viewer on earth. And this is interesting. Okay, let me go back to, so this is interesting because, let me go back to his chart. I mean, he was born, and then so he was born like either in between eclipses or right before the eclipses started happening. Because the moon and the sun were in the sign of Scorpio, right? And there was like all this gnarly energy. I mean, 1984, wasn't that a crazy year? In Argentina, where I was born in Argentina in the 80s, 82, it was like the military takeover, martial law and all that stuff. Like people were disappearing. I'm sure like South America was like, the 80s were kind of a gnarly time. And so he wasn't born exactly on the day of an eclipse, but he was born on the day of a new moon in Scorpio. And all of this Scorpio stellium is connected to the south node in Scorpio, which means that like he came into this lifetime with there's a lot that he brought into this lifetime that may hold him back from moving towards his destiny, towards his life path. But it also means that those same qualities, right? His soul, his power, his way of thinking, his ability to be mature and do things that are important in life, his emotions, all of those things, that he's so comfortable with this deep depth of experience of life that nothing will phase him. And all of this stuff, even though it may keep him from moving forward towards finding more stability in his life, which is literally what he's supposed to be moving towards. It's away from the drama and towards the stability and a more calm and kind of harmonious, not harmonious, but definitely more stable energy. It also means that these are gifts that he came into the world with, really strong gifts that he brought in from another lifetime, because they're all right there next to the south node in Scorpio. So that's a lot. That's a lot. And with Saturn conjunct the moon too, that means that emotionally he may feel restricted. Saturn and the moon don't really get along because the moon wants to be free to express itself and Saturn wants to restrict emotions. But because it's all this Scorpio energy, it's it is deep. There's a intense depth to his personality that you won't see. It's not common. Yeah, not common for sure. Let me see what else. Honestly, that takes center stage over anything else in the chart. In terms of relationships, he's got Venus conjunct Uranus. So, and in Sagittarius. So in terms of relationships, he can be, I think, maybe a little unpredictable in relationships, but he also needs a lot of independence. He needs to feel like he's independent and that he can make his own decisions and that he can do his own thing in order to feel comfortable actually committing in a relationship, which can be an interesting dynamic. Venus in Sagittarius it brings interesting energy into relationships because Sagittarius is not really the type to commit, but Scorpio is. Once Scorpio commits, they're they drill it down. So that counteracts that energy, but still there is a need for independence there that needs to be honored, or it's gonna make him run away or go find something else. He's very practical. He's driven by an ambitious desire to really be successful in life. And that's really cool. And he's going through his Jupiter return, just like me. I was born with Jupiter in Capricorn, so this year could be the year where he sees a lot of cool things happen for him in terms of career and success. Okay. I think I'm done. That was a lot. Okay, then. So you were born on a full moon and he was born on a new moon. That's cool. That's really cool. So I think we may be done for the evening. Oh my God, I just logged myself out of my PayPal. It doesn't like my glasses. Okay, so that was, I mean, we did everybody's reading. Awesome. Cool. Glad you enjoyed it. Was he listening? Of course he was. He's right next to you. What did he think about that? What did you think about that, Pablo? Very accurate. Cool. Yeah, right? So I think we're just gonna finish it off. We've been live for 2 hours. So thank you everybody for signing up for a reading tonight. You have no idea how much you do help support me and the channel by doing that. I really hope to see you guys tomorrow. If you want to learn astrology, I do have the Aquarian Astrology Level 1 course, Module 4. Tomorrow is at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, so you still have time to sign up. And we'll be talking all about the planet Mercury and the mind and how we process thoughts and how we make decisions based off of what sign Mercury is in our chart. Also, if you have not signed up for my email list or downloaded your free moon astrology guide that tells you what your psychic gifts are based off of your moon sign, you can do that by clicking the link in the description of this video. And make sure you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, hit the notification bell. I have a podcast. Subscribe to my podcast. It's called Channel for Grace Uncut Podcasts. And what else? We're going to have K-Moon on the channel on Monday nights. So bring your friends to that broadcast. That's going to be fun. She's going to be giving our community, our tribe, a special gift for her astrology course that she is going to be doing as well. So I'm like so thankful for her for doing that. This is so cool. I did an episode with her on the podcast and we had a really good time. So I'm excited to be talking with her and having her here on the channel on Monday nights. And what else? If you do want to book a personal reading with me, a more extensive one, you can do so on my website. And that's it, you guys. De nada. Amazing. I will let you guys go. I will see you guys tomorrow, those of you that are signed up for Module 4. And if not, I will see you guys on Monday for the special broadcast with K-Moon. Ciao, everybody.